Hello people, it's me, Ginny Metheral. I'm the fourth generation witch. I'm here today with my ever popular Witchcraft Almanac series, and of course today's video is all about the witchcraft for the month of February. As always in these videos, I'm going to start with giving you a general overview of the month of February, the trends that occupy this month. And then we'll move on into the nitty-gritty detail, and I'll give you witchcraft for certain days throughout the month and what you can do. So, on with the show. Let's start with the general overview. February is a rather bleak, cold, dark month, is it not? The Atlantic Ocean is at its coldest at the moment, which negates any Gulf Stream warming in the UK. So we're going to be a bit chilly this month. Lots of snow, lots of ice, lots of... The gypsies of old called February the cold, dark month. And this is because it's an aesthete of a month, isn't it? Short, dark, cold and harsh. However, there is a lot going on because this is the beginning of spring. The days are lengthening, and as the days lengthen, the sheep start to lamb. Their biological clock is regulated by the length of sunlight in the days, and so they come into season in the shortening days of the year, and then they start to give birth to their lambs as the days begin to lengthen. So of course February is all about ewe's milk, and long before we really had dairy from cattle, sheep and goat's milk was the only dairy that we had. Fresh sheep's cheese really is at its best now, and I recommend you go and try some, and it's at its prime in this month. February is a month for purification, and in fact the name February comes from the Latin meaning to purify by sacrifice. This purification ritual is seen in a lot of the festivals that are carried out in February. Let's look at Imbolc very briefly. And Imbolc is a festival where you cleanse and purify your tools, whether they be your witchcraft tools or your agricultural tools. Lent is a festival of purification by sacrifice because you're fasting. And Candlemas, that amazing Christian festival, which is so closely aligned with Imbolc, is all about the Virgin Mary's purification for the 40th day after the birth of the Christ child. So this is something that we witches should definitely take into consideration, and it is a brilliant time of year to do a purification, not just of your home and your own self, but your witch's tools. You probably haven't richly cleansed and purified your craft tools for a long time, and so it's a great opportunity to do this, especially on the 1st and 2nd of February. Now, this is the festival of Imbolc, but I'm not going to go into that festival too much because I've already done a video about it. And so do have a look at my video, which I'll put up here for you. And that video concerns all the rituals and traditions of Imbolc, and do have a look at it if you haven't already. February was a time when it was considered that the witch herself had the greatest sprawl, prana, magic, whatever you like to call it, but her powers are really coming into their own. And so country folk of old would go and have their charms re-energised by the local cunning women of the time. It's wonderful to remember that your power is really coming to the fore. So with the energy of the green man who's currently striding about the land, pulling forth the seeds and the plants and the flowers to turn into this year's raiment of clothing for the earth, it's really good to do spells to set your intentions for the year. Purify yourself first to make sure there's nothing negative around the place, and then you can do your work. So that's my overview for February. Now let's look at the individual detail of the days, and of course you start with the 1st of February. There's a lot going on this day. It is not only Imbolc, it is Chinese New Year, it is also Candlemas Eve. The 1st of February, of course, is sacred to Bridget, who's a goddess, a saint and a woman, so a triple deity in whatever way you look at her. She's worshipped by both pagans and Christians alike and venerated equally by each. And in fact, in Ireland, St. Bridget is their major patron saint, especially for those who are of the female persuasion. So, of course, today is the day that you take your Bridget's cross, which is a pagan Christian symbol if ever I found one, and hang it above your door. It's perfect for all those Christian witches out there, of which there are many, and good for you is all I can say. And if you haven't seen my video about the square cross, then I'll put it up here for you. Do have a look because it's a really important pagan symbol. The 1st of February is also the day of the new moon. However, if you're living in Pacific time, the new moon therefore falls on the 31st of January and becomes a rare black new moon because it happens twice in 1 month. I don't live in the Pacific time zone, so I'm going to just celebrate my new moon on the 1st of February. This new moon also heralds in the Chinese New Year of the water tiger, bringing fun and adventure your way. It is an Aquarius, and therefore it's a real trailblazer of a new moon. New moons look for future plans and future endeavours and gives you an opportunity to wipe your slate clean and start again. But this particular new moon on the 1st of Feb is a really trailblazing one. You should really go for it. If you have forgotten those goals because they were too difficult, too far out, you couldn't do it, go for them now, because this new moon will help you achieve them. The Chinese New Year symbol of the water tiger really brings this to the fore. So this is a trail-blazing, radical change sign, and we are looking at some real differences that are going to happen, not just in our own personal lives, but in the lives of all. I hope so, actually, because last year was a bit rubbish, wasn't it? The Chinese have a story about how each animal is symbolised in their zodiac system, and I thought I'd just quickly tell you this story because it is one of my favourites. The Jade Emperor decided to hold a race, and this race involved crossing a river. So the animals all lined up and off they set. So the rat and the ox got to the river at the same time, and the rat leapt onto the back of the ox, and therefore when the ox swam the river, as he approached the far bank, the rat leapt off and therefore won the race. So clever rat. Ox was a good-natured beast, and he didn't mind taking second place. Third up, the tiger surged forth with confidence and came out of the river. He was followed skillfully by the rabbit, who hopped onto a log. The dragon, seeing the rabbit hopped onto this log, stood and blew the rabbit across, because the dragon was kind-natured, so finished behind them. Next across was the clever snake, followed by the lively horse and the clever monkey. Third from last was the courageous, brave rooster, who managed to swim happily across the river. He was followed by the loyal dog, and finally, it was after several hours, the pig. The pig had found something rather nice to eat before crossing the river, and then, being rather full, had laid down and had a nap. Therefore crossed last, but being generous and easygoing, he did not mind in the slightest. Let me know what your zodiac sign is in the Chinese New Year in the comments, and whether you think you are skillful or clever or kind-hearted or generous, if that is one of your main characteristics. I'd love to know. I thought I was a pig for many years, but it turns out I think I'm a rat. I don't know though. I get very confused because it does go with the moons, doesn't it? I must look it up. Actually, no, I think I'm a pig. That was right. I thought I was a rat, but now I actually think I'm a pig. So generous and easygoing. Not sure about the generosity. I'm as tight-fisted as anything, but I'm pretty easygoing. The 2nd of February is the remains of Imbolc and the beginning of Candlemas. This is a day remembered by Snowdrops, and it is the day when you can start to bring snowdrops into your house. Although there is a little bit of a superstition that if you do bring them in, they are a symbol of death. It is their drooping heads. They bow down before you, signalling that they are about to droop and die. However, I love a snowdrop myself. There is also the superstition that you should not pick snowdrops after the 14th of February. So don't. I do believe in a superstition. There's probably a reason for it. Finally, should a member of your family sadly die and are buried in the month of February, A wonderful way to ensure that they work out the steps to spirit is to plant snowdrops on their grave to let them bloom and shine and show them the way. Candlemas is so called because, of course, this is the day when all the candles from the church were taken in and blessed. But this is a massively pagan feast, and so this is something that maybe you might want to do. I do have a large box of candles. Maybe I should sort through them and throw away all the duff ones and bless the rest of them on the 2nd of February. It makes them feel new. The next date I want to talk about is the 8th of February, but this is a specific date. This is the 8th of February, 1855. This is a local ghost story to me, and I love it because it is so creepy. The night before, it had snowed heavily across the land of Devon, and in the morning, the people of Devon woke up and they found a trail laid out, and the trail crossed over 100 miles through the moors and the towns and the villages of the people in Devon. It was a single-footed trail and was that of the imprint of a cloven hoof. The devil had passed by Devon that night, and who knows what mischief he wrought. This tale was talked about in all the local papers because everyone could see it. It was literally a line of footsteps going across the county, and it was a cloven-footed footstep, that of a two-legged beast walking. So watch out on the 8th, because this is probably when the devil is going to pass by, especially if, like me, you live in the county of Devon. The 12th to the 14th of February are known as borrowed days. They are days borrowed from January. If on these days it is stormy and nasty and cold and windy and snowy and horrid, it is a divination that the year ahead will be pleasant and wonderful, sunny and bright. And of course, if they're mild and fair between these days, then we're going to have a dreadful time in the coming year. So I'm going to look out on the 12th to the 14th of February to make sure that it's really very cold. I'd rather put up with 2 days cold than any cold for the rest of the year. The 14th of February is, of course, St. Valentine's Day, and who can have an almanac without referring to the great saint? St. Valentine was actually a monk, so he had no wife and no girlfriend. Whether he did before he became a monk, we don't know, or even afterwards, who knows? However, the reason why he's the patron saint of lovers is because the Roman emperor who he served under at the time had conscripted single men to join the army in order to let them avoid death. Valentine spent his days marrying them off. I have no idea who he married them to, because he would have to be press-ganging girls into marrying some strange man, wouldn't he? Maybe he just married them in name only and produced a piece of paper saying, "You're married." But I can't believe he press-ganged all these girls into it. They wouldn't have said yes anyway, would they? If you are on the lookout for a partner, this is a great day for divination, and very simply, what you need to do is go out and stand in the greenery of the outdoors. If you see a robin flying over your head, then this signifies that you are going to marry a sailor. I don't know why robins are associated with sailors. If you see a sparrow flying over your head, then this means you're going to marry a poor man, but you're going to be very happy. And if you see a goldfinch, you will marry a rich man. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, but it's an old tradition. The gypsies of old did have a rather wonderful love spell. I'm not a great fan of love spells myself because I think they take away your personal choice because they force you into loving someone that you don't. But this one is the love spell that brings your true love to you. You can use the face of somebody that you've got a crush on, because this love spell will make sure that if that is your true love, then, you know, they're going to come and be your true love. And if not, well, your true love is going to turn up. So I think it is quite good here to wish upon someone that you've got a massive crush on and would like to come your way. You won't be disappointed, whatever happens. So how to do this spell? Well, first of all, you will need a red rose and a rather large supply of red candles. Take your red rose and hold it in your hands. Whilst holding it, visualise the face of the person that you've got a massive crush on and you want to become your true love. And if you don't have a crush on anyone, just visualise what it would feel like to have your true love. The next morning at sunrise, go outside and face the east. Inhale the scent of the red rose and then facing east, say, "This red rose is for my true love. Let my true love come to me." If you don't have anywhere to go outside, you can use a window that faces east. That'll work just as well. Now you need to go back inside and place the rose between two red candles. Light those candles and again visualise your true love. You need to keep those red candles burning until the rose has faded. This could be several days, so make sure you've got a good supply. Night and day, may I say. Don't you shirk on that one. Night and day, these candles should burn. When the rose has faded, pinch out the candles, take the rose and bury it in the ground. Your true love is just around the corner. There is an old tradition amongst English witches that if you use a love potion as a love spell, you are dicing with death. Love potions lead to death, apparently. So don't go there, don't get one, don't make one. Not good stuff. I think it's because the heart is easily wounded and can lead to all sorts of shenanigans if it goes wrong. The 16th of Feb is, of course, the night of the full moon. The full moon is still very high and bright in the sky at the moment and so makes wonderful moon water. This one especially because the sprawl or the prana or your life force is really invigorating through the earth at the moment, and it can make a really strong moon water that is perfect for all spells of growing and increasing. So if you want to increase your wealth, a great spell to do is to make your moon water on this day and place a penny in it. Keep that penny in your wallet and it will bring you the wealth you desire. That's my almanac for February. Now, before I go, I just wanted to ask a small favour. These videos, although they're advertised heavily by YouTube, who puts 40,000 adverts per month on my channel, YouTube don't ever pay creators for the adverts. They get all the money for that, obviously. We get very, very little. So the adverts don't pay even for the ingredients that I use to make these videos. I would be so grateful if you could help support this channel. Maybe become a member or look at my Patreon page. There's plenty of really great benefits on Patreon. One-to-one sessions with me, and our coven meetings are going from strength to strength. There's benefits that start at a couple of pounds, and I would be so grateful if you could help us out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments which part you liked and which part you're going to do. I would love to know. And otherwise, I will see you in a few days.